Okay, in this example, I want to take you through some reversal patterns. We're going to look at head and shoulders, double tops, triple tops and bottoms, and some rounded tops and bottoms. Reversal patterns are obviously just what they say. We want to see a trend reverse and go the other direction. And of course, in doing so, we're looking for particular patterns that are reoccurring price patterns that can give us some kind of a clue as to what the market is going to do when it does this retracement. And so I just want to go through some of these charts, and I've pulled up some charts and identified some patterns, and I want to walk through them with you and just show you and identify, help us locate and know what some of these patterns are. The first one I want to show you here is we got a nice little double bottom. Now a double bottom would be where a market comes down off of a trend and then makes a retracement and stops, comes back down, and then tests that same level and then continues on in the opposite direction. So many people would call this a nice little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Of course, the number one point of a 1, 2, 3 pattern is a annual high or an annual low. And so this would be a nice little 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. But also, because it's so close, that would be a nice little double bottom. And if you look over here and you count this one, this would be considered a triple bottom, because you see this market coming down and testing this area of support 3 times, 1, 2, 3, before it takes off and goes the opposite direction. So this could be in the short run, this little area here would be a double bottom, and then of course if we add this peak to it here, we got ourselves a triple bottom. Let's go on to corn. Now a 1, 2, 3 pattern is a very controversial thing. You know, what is a 1, 2, 3 formation? There's a little rule out there that somebody made up called the 10, 20, 50 rule, and that means that you want the pattern to be within the first, let's talk about this little top right here. You want your first number, and then the second number before your number 2 point is supposed to be within 10 days, and then your third one is supposed to be within 20 days, and it's supposed to be 50%, at least a 50% move of the distance between the 1 and the 2. So back number 3's retracement shouldn't go back much further than 50%, or at least 50% of the move. That's the 10, 20, 50 rule. The problem with that is that it only works in some markets. It's a nice little rule of thumb. Keep it in mind, but know that it's not solid. It's not as rock solid as some people would like you to believe. And I'll tell you why. And this is how you can dispel the 10, 20, 50 rule. Look at the waves of the previous trend. Okay? This market moves in days from one wave to the next of 26 days there. Here's another wave from the top of that one to that one is 20 days. From the next to the top of that one to this one is 35 waves. So nowhere does the 10, 20, 50 rule fit within the wave reversal. And then if you go the other side, we've got from this bottom to this bottom is 32 days. From this bottom to this bottom is 28 days. From this bottom to this bottom is 34 days. So the 10, 20, 50 rule doesn't work in this particular market because market doesn't move in 10-day waves. It moves in between 20 and 30-day waves. So we'd have to modify our 1, 2, 3 rule, 10, 20, 50 rule to be something like a 15, 30 rule or something. You know, so you just keep in mind that it's just a rule of thumb. It doesn't necessarily work in every market. So this right here would be our 1, 2, 3 pattern. And then of course your chartist will oftentimes sell on a break below the number 2 point. And right across that number 2 point, notice we've got 1, 2, 3, 3 nice little hits to give us a little triple bottom right there across the bottom of that number 2. It retraces, gives us our 50% retracement level, which we're looking for. We are looking for it to come back about half, 50% of the distance between 1 and 2. And then as it breaks down below the number 2 point, that would be our sell. That would be our sell signal right there. Okay, that's your 1, 2, 3 top or formation, but I want to show you an expanded view of that. What we really want to highlight here is the head and shoulders. Now the head and shoulders is basically the same thing as the 1, 2, 3 formation, but we have a left shoulder. So we have the left shoulder, we have the neckline, we have the head, the next point of the neckline, and then we have the right shoulder. And then what that gives us is it gives us what we call the neckline or the trigger point. Okay, and the trigger point gets us into the market on a break below the neckline right there. So that's your neckline right across the bottom of those peaks, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then we sell on a break below that point. So that's your head and shoulders on this market. Now some people would come in here and try and tell you that this was your 1, 2, 3 formation right here, but it's too short. It's too small of a pattern. This market is retracing, we already know, from 26 to 35 days to make a pattern reversal. So you can't use a little 5-day pattern to consider that as a 1, 2, 3 formation. Had you done so, you'd have probably called that a 1, 2, 3 formation, and you'd have got burned. You'd have lost money. So you can't use these little teeny patterns right here as reversal patterns, because those are not the 1, 2, 3 formations that we're looking for. We're looking for the actual market to retrace. And in corn, this market here is moving in this size waves. Now if we go to cocoa, cocoa moves in different size waves. So you want to make sure you grab your tool and you calculate your different waves. For each market, determine how wide a 1, 2, 3 or a head and shoulders formation should be. Let's see if we can look at another bottom formation. Let's look for gold. Now gold right in here is making not so much a single 1, 2, or 3 bottom pattern, but it's making more of an arc pattern. I got that upside down. Let's bring that in just like this. See that rounded bottom? It's kind of a rounded bottom formation over a period of about 3 or 4 months. Of course, it's not perfectly round, so we can move this just like this to help us out. And then we have kind of a rounded bottom formation right here in gold. So that's how the rounded bottom tool works, and that's what we look for in markets. A chartist will generally buy on a break above the rounded top or the rounded bottom. So right across here is where you consider the rounding starts. And you'll notice this peak broke right up through it in the middle, but right here would be your buy signal on the break above where the rounding started. Probably right, just to be a little bit more accurate, right in there. This would be your buy signal. So a rounding of a bottom, you buy on a break above the round of the other side. So right across through there, and we've got a nice little point right in there, giving us another indication that that's about where that point is. So we have a nice round bottom and then buy right there. Of course, we wouldn't have made much. This turnaround came back against us, but hopefully would have followed with our stop loss and made maybe a couple $100 in this market. Let's go on and look at lean hogs. Now lean hogs, we notice this top formation here. This is more of a triple top formation right in here. We've even got a 4th one out here. But see how all these markets come up and are testing this area of resistance? Come up and try and break through this little area, and we've got 2 or 3 hits off of right here. We come back up, we have 1 hit right here and a couple more closer to it. We come up with another couple of hits right here, and even a couple broke through a little bit. Come back up and a couple more break through here, and almost even gives us a little angle on it. You know, just kind of like this. But that's a nice little triple top formation in the lean hogs. And you need to watch for those, because those are patterns giving you some kind of indication that the market can't make it past that area of resistance. So it wants to go up, nope, can't make it, come back down, try again, can't make it, go back down, try again one more time, can't make it, okay, I'm tired, I'm trying to go up there, and I'm going to come crashing down. Let's go to live cattle. Now live cattle, this one is, a lot of people will discount tops when they're this far apart, okay? They want to see them closer together, but don't discount the tops when they're this far apart. Look at this nice top all the way across here. 1, 2, 3, and then here's 2 down here. Here's a nice double bottom right here. Don't discount these bottoms and these tops when they're that high. See, and then this one breaks down into a nice little formation going right across the top there. 1, 2, 3, 4 times it hit that top. And what that's trying to do is it's trying to go up and break past that area of resistance. And if it can't do it, it comes down. It's okay, let's try again. It can't do it this time, comes down. Okay, let's try it again. Can't do it again. Okay, we're tired of that, and we're going to drop off. So just keep in mind that that's what this market is trying to do. And so just because they have a little bit further distance between them, don't give up on them. Okay, we got these triple tops right here. It's quite a distance between them, and it's not usually a pattern that we would trade off of that far. But keep in mind what it's doing, because it is trying to come up. It's trying to break through this area of of resistance, and then down it goes. It's like, let's try that again. Goes up, hits, nope, can't break it. Comes down again, rests and relaxes, and then goes back up and tries one more time. It can't do it. And so you can see the market trying to break these areas of resistance and then gets tired and drops back down. So just while we're standing here, or just while we're looking at this chart, let me show you another nice little formation. You see right here, this is a nice little head and shoulders. We got a left, we get the neckline, we got our head, the next neckline, which forms our trigger line, and our shoulder. So that's a nice little head and shoulders pattern right in there. So the beginning of that chart. Okay, let's go into pork bellies. Pork bellies. This is a wild market, very thinly traded. And right here on the same pork bellies chart, within 2 months of each other, we got a nice little double bottom. Okay, and we got a nice little double top right there. Again, it's the market coming down, saying, can I go down any lower? No. Let's go up. Oh, let's try go down one more time. Nope, can't do it. Okay, let's keep on going up then. Comes down, and then we hit the top. Can we break this point? No. Let's come back down. Can we break it again? We'll give it another shot. Oh, no, can't quite make it. Okay, we'll come on down. So watch for those double tops and those triple bottoms and triple tops and rounded bottoms. Let's look at one more S&P 500. Here's another nice little rounded top formation. Put that right into position here. And then of course we can grab our little handles and kind of give a better accuracy to it. There we go, another nice little rounded top formation. And of course we look for a sell signal right in, where this comes together, right in here. I don't often trade these, but some people do. Some people really like them. I know a couple of educators who really watch for them and look for them closely. This would be a sell signal on a break below here. But there's a nice little rounded top in S&P 500. Let's look at wheat. Wheat, there's another nice little double bottom right there. See anything else in there? Come back to the top of this peak. What did we make up here? Boy, that's kind of a rough pattern right there. If anything, I don't know if I'd even call it that. That's probably the closest we're going to find on that little top pattern right there. But you can see it even when it's not a top formation. Look at this right here. See where the market comes by? Can we break that? Nope. Comes back down, tries again. Nope. Comes back down, tries again. Nope. Tries again. Nope. So finally it comes in, says, can we break it? Yep, we broke it this time. And then you notice when it breaks it, it continues up. So watch these areas of support and resistance. Now watch this, how this comes out here. This is, look at that, clear over here. It's still noticing that that's still an area of resistance for us. So there's some head and shoulder reversals, some doubles, some triples, some rounded tops and bottoms. Grab your charts, grab your tools, and go looking for them. See how you like them, see if you can use them as an opportunity to buy or sell, and help you predict market direction.